Thank you. Yes, so I'm a real landlord. I've been investing in property since I was a student. I've now got about 300 properties across the UK. In London, I've mainly done residential and commercial. In the UK, I've mainly done students and retirement. So it's a real mix. I also invest in other businesses now as well. I have been using Choices as my main letting agent for about 6 years. I made the mistake, like a lot of landlords do, and I decided to start my own letting agency, which was much more work and much more complex than I had originally imagined. And Choices have been great. So Choices with Simon and the team at the back here have been very professional. They've guided me through all the various different changes with legislation, with the various taxes that landlords are having forced upon them. I think from my perspective, Choices as well have always got something new to talk about. They've always got something that they are trying, and the ARO is a great example of that. From a landlord's perspective right now, I suppose I feel, and I think a lot of landlords probably do as well, you feel under attack. You've got lots more taxes, you've got lots more rules, you're being threatened with many more fines. And you know, I think the ARO is a real breath of fresh air, the fact that you've got an actual tool that really is useful. Landlords are cash businesses, so you know, the money that you make, the money that you get in every month, every week, every day, that's what determines your business. And so making sure that money flows, making sure you've got money available is literally the difference between being able to profit from an opportunity or not. And from my perspective, I've used the ARO once. It was very quick, it was very effective. I think of it as, you know, it's just a great way to basically get cash. I mean, you know, there's nothing more complex than that. As a landlord, if you want 1 year's worth of rent in advance, this is a great tool to be able to do that. Talking to people who are looking at the ARO right now, the reason I drew down some cash with it was to basically fund refurbishments. I think that's a great example. We've got some properties in Liverpool where the rent went from 75 a week to 110 a week in a specific area if the properties were newly refurbed. It didn't actually cost that much to do it, but as opposed to doing 5, it basically enabled us to do about 20. So I think that's the real benefit. You can take the cash quick, you can apply it to your assets, you can increase capital, you can earn the money from the increased rent this month as opposed to waiting another 1 or 2 years. I think another good example, which I haven't done yet, but I might, is if you want to buy property. So you know, we've been investing a lot in the regions. So probably about 3-4 years ago, we started to invest in Devon and Liverpool. The yields in Liverpool are about I think 11-12. We just probably got a 15% one as well. And so if you can borrow, borrow is not the word. If you can take the rent in advance and you can put it into high yielding assets, it actually works out quite profitable. I'm also trying to move away from banks. As a landlord, you probably all know the hassle dealing with banks on a regular basis. And if I want to buy in cash, this is another great way to be able to, you know, if I'm 20, 30, 40,000 pounds short, just to be able to top up really quickly. So I think in short, I think it's a great innovation for the sector. I think we're all up against lots of challenges, and to have a company like Choices out there really fighting for us and looking for real ways to innovate and real ways to add value to landlords on the ground, I think is, you know, I find it really encouraging, and I'd recommend it to anyone. So thank you.